The following is Fall 2011, Math 21, Test 3, number 6. The latest opinion poll for Occupy Wall Street shows that 47% support and 36% against such movement, while the rest have no opinion. Let's see. Support 47, against 36, so that will be 83%. Right, 83% means the no opinion will be 17%, right? The probability of no opinion is 17%. Let me write it all. Probability that you support is 47%, and probability of against is 36%. The sum, of course, has to be 100%. Now, part A, find the probability that 5 of them will support Occupy Wall Street. Now, we are dealing with, hold on. The situation here, the experiment is you consider 7 randomly selected people. It means we have 7 independent trials. Okay? Which means the case we have here later on will be binomial case. Binomial case. Okay, let's say let x, let me call it x1 be the number of people will support Occupy Wall Street. Okay, now we will see that this x here, this x1 here is binomially distributed with the number of trials 7, and the probability of support for each experiment is 47. For each person is 47%. Okay, now the question is find the probability that the number of people supporting, out of those 7, 5 of them support. Now, according to the formula, this will be 7 choose 5 times 47% to the power of 5, right? Because we have 5 successes, each one of them with probability of 47%, and the other 2 has to be the probability of the complement, which is 53%. Okay. If it is not supporting, which is 47%, then it must be either no opinion or against, which is 53%. If you look back, that's if it is not supporting, then it will be the sum of these 2 probabilities here. Okay. Then from there, I use calculator. 7 choose 5. That's 21, right? Times that 0.47 to the power of 5. Times 0.53 to the power of 2. Now if I use calculator, to the 5th times 0.53 squared, that will be, I get 0.13529 or 13.529%. That's the probability that out of these 7 people, exactly 5 of them will support Occupy Wall Street. Now, that's for part A. Part B, find the probability that more than 5 of them, 5 of what? 5 of those 7 people will support Occupy Wall Street. So we are dealing with the same random variable. The random variable is the number of people who will support Occupy Wall Street. Okay. Now then, the one in question here, what is the probability that the number of people who will support Occupy Wall Street is greater than 5, more than 5? Okay, now to say more than 5, it means there are 6 or 7, at most 7, right? I hope you know why. At most 7 because we only select 7 people. Okay, now for each one of them, then we compute the probability that 6 of them 6 of these 7 will support Occupy Wall Street will be 7 choose 6 times 47% to the power of 6 times 53% to the power of 1. So you see I follow the pattern I have in part A, but this time is for x equals 6 and x equals 7. The next one is 7 choose 7, 47% to the power of 7 times 53% to the power of 0, which later on you will see that's equals to 1. That's 7 times 0.47 to the power of 6 times 0.53 to the power of 1 plus 7 choose 7 is 1 times 0.47 to the power of 7 times anything to the 0 equals to 1. Okay, now from here I will use my calculator. Plus 0.47 to the 7. This is what I get, 0.04506, or approximately this is 4.506%. Okay, so out of 7 people, if you have 6 or even 7 people supporting it, that will be a very unlikely event. Actually, it's quite unlikely. Okay, now this for part B. Now let's see part C. Find the probability that any of those 7 people, so out of that 7 people, any of those have no opinion. Now notice that this is not talking about the number of people supporting Occupy Wall Street. It's something else. It's about no opinion. So we need to define a new random variable. Let x2, for example, be the number of people having no opinion. Okay, we know that this random variable will be binomially distributed with the number of trial against its 7 people, but the probability that any one of them, if will have no opinion, is 17%. Okay, now then the question here is find the probability that any of those has no opinion. Means this is not equals to 0. Is it right? It's either 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or even up to 7. Okay, but not 0. Not 0. But the probability that x2 is not equals to 0 is the same to 1 minus the complement, which is the probability that nobody have no opinion. Every one of them decide already to support or to go against, right? Okay, so that's equals to 1 minus 7 choose 0, 17% to the power of 0 times 83%, the complement probability to the power of 7. This is 1 times 1 times 0.83 to the power of 7. And that's 1 minus 0.83 to the power of 7, which is, that will be, let me see, 1 minus 0.83 to the power of 7. That's 0.72864. Okay, so the probability that any of those have no opinion is actually quite a high. There's a quite a high probability. Okay, yeah, the probability of this to happen means nobody have no opinion. Okay, that's you will see that's actually pretty low. Okay, this is for 2011 Math 21 Test 3 number 6.